Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. If you've never heard of the Dave Matthews Band, well, they have been around for a while, over 30 years. And next month, actually, it's this month now. We are in October. So this month, the Dave Matthews Band is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So of course, the fans are talking about it. The world is talking about it because it's a big deal to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so I'm excited that they are getting this additional exposure, but they really haven't needed. They have collected fans over the past over 30 years. They've just had no problems picking up fans. And so each episode, I bring a fan of the Dave Matthews Band on my show to talk about their journey with the band and how the band has played some part in their life. Everybody's journey is very different, whether you found the band 5 seconds ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, 30 years ago. Everybody's journey looks completely different. And so that's what we do here on this show, is we really talk about how music can affect someone's life, how music can change lives, and how music can save lives. And so this episode is just like every episode. I have a guest on the show to talk about their journey with the Dave Matthews Band. So first of all, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us who you are and where in the world do you live?
Hi, my name is Lindsay Bires, and I live in Quincy, which is right outside Boston, Massachusetts.
I've never been to Boston. I've always wanted to. You've got a lot of cool stuff up that way, but I hear only great
No,
things
you
about
definitely
it.
should make the trip.
I know. I need to. It's so far. So what keeps
Where do you
you
live?
busy in life? I live in Arkansas. So I'm
Oh,
far.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
That is
super far. I
far.
can't just hop in the car and go to anywhere, really. What keeps you busy outside of the Dave Matthews Band? Like, what do you like to do?
I mean, well, I'm a nurse, and so I work, and I mean, as far as what I like to do is, I mean, I like sports. Like I like
Could it be is it the Patriots maybe that you like?
yeah, and also, but you see, we don't have Tom Brady anymore,
That's
so
true. So are you going to love him
it's
just as
sad.
much?
So now my attention has shifted to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Because they won the championship last year, so.
Well, you've got a lot of good sports up there. I'm very jealous. Arkansas is a state that we have no professional sports. And there are not a lot, zero. And there's not a lot of states that have zero professional sports, but we are one of them. So not much going on here. But we're close to Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Kansas City's 3 hours away, but of course we have the University of
Chiefs.
They're good. Can you get any better? I mean, not right now, right? Like they're the best. But we, since we don't have professional teams, we get really into college football. So that's a big deal around here. So I know that you have a dog because before we started recording, you showed me your beautiful baby.
He's coming back. He's
tell me a little bit about him. Hello.
His name is Brady, and that is for Tom Brady.
Yes, of course. Imagine.
But he's a little golden doodle puppy. Well, he's not a puppy anymore, but I still call him a puppy. He's 3 years old. Brady, look. Honey.
Yeah, this is your 5 seconds of fame, Brady. Look at the camera. Oh, you're so handsome. Oh, yes. If you're just listening to this on a podcast app, just know that you can watch this on YouTube, and that way you can see Brady and the rest of this episode. So,
Yes.
Lindsay,
This feels.
so you're a nurse, you live in
Yes, I am.
Massachusetts, you have a beautiful dog, Brady.
Brady.
Um, Tell me, what other kind of music do you listen to when you're not listening to the Dave Matthews Band?
I
Like, what
mean,
do you got turned on?
okay. You see, this is gonna sound kind of psychotic,
No.
but um, because I was preparing to go to Mexico for the first year that they ever went there in 2017, I started listening to only Dave.
Uh-huh.
Um, like, that was it every day
Yeah.
for like starting a month before I actually went, and
You were studying.
yeah, and so like I was just it was just them for a month before I went, and then when I came back, I decided I would do a month for each night on the beach. So it was 3 nights on the beach. So I decided to do 1 month, so 3 months. But then when it ended, when the third month ended, I kind of was like, you know what? This is what is making me happy, so
Oh,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
stop.
That's
So I
right. No reason
haven't.
to.
I haven't like I honestly don't really listen to the radio. Like if I can choose music, it is DMB that's playing. I
Nothing wrong with
mean,
that.
other than that, other than them, but oh yes, I mean since 2017, so that's like 5 years or something like that.
Wow. Well, I mean, the beautiful
Um,
thing is this band, because they've been out for so long and they've put out so many albums
yeah, so
and
much
songs that have
music.
never been, I mean, there's just a catalog of endless amounts of songs. So you could listen to it for three
Yeah,
months. If you were listening to all the different versions of all the different songs, you would literally never repeat songs. Like it would be
no.
months of listening, which is
No,
so cool.
I have, I don't know how many albums I have. I have a lot of albums of live tracks.
Wow.
So like I
Uh-huh.
never, I mean, it just it feels like it just like so many songs I've never heard that version
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, let's dig into the history of your Dave Matthews Band story. So,
Okay.
of course, we chatted a little bit before we hit record. And so I know that there was a significant event that happened in your life in 2012. And I want to talk
Hmm.
about that because I think that for our listeners, it will help them understand why we're not going to go back any further than 2012.
Okay. Um, well, I mean, in 2012, um, I was actually, I didn't tell you this, but I didn't tell you this, but I was actually working as a nurse on the night shift, and I took a cigarette break, so I went outside to have a cigarette, and I went to where they send the hospital employees, and unfortunately, I was hit by a car
What?
on the
Outside of the
sidewalk.
hospital.
Hmm.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
on the sidewalk, and that due to that, I sustained a traumatic brain injury, and due to the traumatic brain injury, that's why I lost all of my memories. So
Oh
I
my,
honestly don't really have a memory of when I first started liking the band, but because I mean I started with them in high school, but
right,
I can't, I don't really remember. Like, I don't remember going to see them at Fenway Park. I know I did, but I don't remember
right,
it.
right,
Um,
right.
so yeah. Um,
Wow. Oh my God.
but I
First of
mean,
all, that is
yeah,
terrible.
I know,
Oh
but
my God.
that was, I only say that I was lucky about one thing, and that was the fact I was standing right across the street from the hospital.
Boy, that's true. I mean, if something's going to happen, it's good that it's going to be right outside a hospital if
Yeah.
it's got to happen. So, I mean, I know that just, I'm a nurse too, with something like that, with a car hitting you and sustaining
Mm-hmm.
a traumatic brain injury, you
Mm-hmm.
were not in the hospital for 2 or 3 days. Tell us about what your
No.
recovery looked like after that car hit you.
I mean, my recovery, it honestly took, um, like, it took a whole 6 years. Like, I mean,
Wow.
honestly, it I would say that like it kind of just I don't know. TBIs that I don't think they ever heal. So
Right.
like you're
Yeah.
never perfectly healed. I
Right.
mean, I just started working again, honestly, like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I got my job back. I got a job 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So so
Are you glad to be
I
back at it?
yeah
Yeah.
yeah yeah.
Well,
It's
that's good.
it's it's different, but I like it. I like it so far.
Good.
The one thing I don't like, documentation.
Oh, well, I mean, that's yeah, I think that's
I
every
know.
nurse's thing. Like, my God, I don't have time to chart
To document
everything I
everything.
do and then do all of the things and then go get Miss Smith some coffee and then somebody's thrown up down the hall and then you want me to document all of that in time order? Okay, let me do that for you.
I know.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can't think it's every nurse's hates it.
It's
It's just
true.
such a
But
pain, but
but
it has to be
also,
done.
right. I know we also
It ha
understand that like it has to be done, like it's so important, but it's a pain in
yeah,
the ass.
and because I mean, with documenting, like it covers your ass
That's right. I mean,
to know that you did everything you were supposed to do for the patient.
that's right. That's right. Because how I know
So
you can finish this sentence because I think we were all taught this in nursing school. If it wasn't charted, what
yeah.
was it? Do you know?
Oh, no, I don't.
It was never done, right? If it
Yeah.
wasn't charted, it was
Yeah.
never done. So if you
Yeah.
failed to write down something or chart something, they will look at those records as if you never did
Mm-hmm.
it, which can really screw
Mm-hmm.
you in court.
Yeah. So you're up for malpractice. Like,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
lot. It's a lot.
I
But,
know.
do you think that I'm sure there were several things that helped you get through the 7 years of
Yeah.
rehab? Obviously, you had a great medical team. So since,
Mm-hmm.
they probably because you worked there, it was I'm sure you knew a lot of people and
Well,
they
but you see, the thing is, my accident when where I was working is where I went to school. I went to school at the University of South Carolina, and so I
uh-huh.
was working down in South Carolina. I'm not from there. I'm
Oh
from
wow.
Boston. And after my accident, my boyfriend made the decision to fly me home so I could get like,
Wow.
because Boston's got the best medical
Sure.
care. Um, and so my recovery. I was only in South Carolina for 2 months.
Wow, but that's
And
a long time.
yeah, it's a long time, but for 2 months, I mean, I'm sorry, out of 6 years, it's not that much.
Well, exactly. Exactly. So you get to back to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean, do it's just rehab? Like what does the healing
Yeah,
process
well, I
look
mean,
like
when
for you?
I got to Boston, I at first was admitted to Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital in Cambridge.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And were there some things that helped you get through it? Because I mean, everybody knows that no matter what level of therapy you're having to do, but especially when you've sustained terrible, like
Mm,
life changing injuries, the PT, the OT, the ST, if you're doing it all, some of it, whatever, it can
yeah.
be incredibly difficult. So, what did you hold on to get through those
I
tough
mean,
days?
okay. Well, see, at the beginning in Spalding, Cambridge, I was in a coma. So,
Oh my god. Oh my
so
god.
when I was there, I
No.
don't remember.
How long were
Um,
you in a coma for?
10 days, a solid coma, but I didn't
Wow.
speak. I didn't speak for 2 months. So,
Oh my god. Oh my
um,
god. So
yep,
you just woke up.
yeah. But I mean, at that point, I was transferred to Spalding, Charlestown.
Gotcha.
Which
Gotcha.
was this big spot in Cambridge is for more acute medically care, like the patients who need more acute medical care go to
Uh-huh.
Spalding Cambridge. They thought that I had made enough progress like in between going to Spalding Cambridge and waking up in Spalding Charlestown to be transferred to Spalding Charlestown.
Okay.
So
Is
that's where
that
I was. I
gotcha. So
spent,
is
and then
that
I was there from November till like November until the first, until Valentine's Day of
Wow.
2013. And that's when I was discharged, but I went back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Years of
I
PT.
had my hip replaced, and then after that, I had to go back to rehab again.
Wow.
And
Oh
like
my
I was in
God.
outpatient rehab I was in
Uh-huh.
outpatient rehab for literally 5 years.
Wow. Wow. I'm blown away. I mean, I know that these things happen. Of course, we all know these things happen, but when you hear the story and you put yourself in that situation and you go, you're honestly a miracle right now that you're doing so well, but I know that this did not come easily. And I know
No,
that based on just some pre conversations we had, I know that the music of the Dave Matthews Band helped. So
yeah.
tell the listeners, like, how did that happen? Like, how did you get
How did the
reintroduced into
music?
their mute? Yeah. How did they come
How
back
did
into
it
your
guide
life?
me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you see, I mean, even while I was actually in a coma, when I was in a coma, because before my accident, the Dave Matthews Band that was my band. I was such a huge fan. I always went
Yeah.
and saw them whenever I could. So while I was in a coma, they played that music for me.
Oh, wow.
My
Oh,
family
wow.
played the music for me. While I was in a coma, and then when I woke up, I mean, I always played it on like on headphones or
Uh-huh.
while I was doing like therapy,
Yeah.
and yeah, and so once I was discharged and I had to go to therapy, when I in the beginning when I was doing 5 days a week, um, and therapy was 45 minutes away from my house.
Oh, God.
I would listen to Dave Matthews the entire way, there and back,
Wow.
every
So
day.
were do you remember any particular songs that really got you through? Like you kind of
I
held on to
mean,
those songs?
um, yeah. Oh, and yes. I mean, I have it tattooed on my hip actually.
Oh, well, was it the hip that you broke?
Um, no, I
The other
got
one.
it done on the other one
Okay.
just because
Uh-huh.
I'm going to need to have my hip replaced again. So
God
I
dang.
didn't want the tattoo to be cut through.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh, I totally understand. So,
Because I was only 25 when I got it,
right. Oh my
so
gosh. So what does it say?
I'm going to need it replaced again in the future.
Oh my God. What does your tattoo say?
Oh, it says, um, okay, I'm sorry. See, okay, see, I have two tattoos. That in itself is a different story. It's, I can't think of the lyrics right now. What is
There
it?
you go.
Okay.
You're like, I don't remember which one is which.
I know. Well, I mean, I know that I have two-step on my back because then that I've
Uh,
had for years. But as I
uh-huh.
said, that's a different story. This one is Tripping Billies, I think, and it says, "Oh yeah, eat, drink, and be merry." The reason I got that is just because the next lyric for "Tomorrow We Die," I felt as though it was pretty fitting for me for
Absolutely.
my incident. Um,
Yes.
but you see. The reason why I have two-step on my back is because um while I was in college, um me and my original roommate from freshman year of college,
Uh-huh.
we didn't get along. We just didn't mesh well.
Yeah.
So I switched because there was another girl on my floor who's also a huge Dave fan, and we got along very well. But unfortunately, she passed away in a fire my
Oh my
sophomore
God.
year.
Oh my gosh. How
Yeah, I know.
terrible.
It was awful. So that's why I got Life is Short but Sweet for Staring on my back for her.
Yes. Yes. Oh, God, so many reminders because that is true. We don't want to think about it, but it is all true. Tomorrow we might not be here. We might not. You did not know
Exactly.
that you were going to get hit in the parking lot while you're smoking a cigarette at work. Like no one
Mm-hmm.
thinks this stuff up. It could happen anytime. So yes, life is short, but
I mean,
it's pretty sweet.
she just went to a beach house for the weekend with friends, and the house caught fire.
Oh my God. So she was on vacation. Not that there's a good time, but she was on vacation when this
Mm-hmm.
happened. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. Oh, how devastating for her fan. Well, just, oh, that's
I know.
awful. That's awful. So you
I
did you
know.
introduce any of your therapists? Because if you're at therapy, especially if you're at therapy 5 days a week, you've built a relationship
Yes,
with
and I
some of your
was in
therapists.
the beginning. In the beginning, I went and was there 5 days a week, actually.
So you knew your therapist, they knew you.
Yes,
Did you ever
yes.
talk to them about the Dave Matthews
Oh,
Band?
yes, I definitely did. I mean, and because that's like, as I said, that was the one, like, that's what I've always wanted playing
Yeah.
to get me to, so I could do my physical therapy to that and whatever else, but like my occupational therapy. Um, yeah, so they knew. They
Yeah.
knew like like how much I loved DMB's music.
So, as a nurse and as a patient, would you
Hmm.
consider music a tool to healing?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I call it often that it's medicine.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, it completely changes the way that you feel and like
Hmm.
the way you think about some things.
Yeah, it can change your mind. It can completely
Mm-hmm.
change your mind just because of looking at it from a different way.
Perspective.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
however he wrote it, and Dave, or the combination of different members, whoever's writing the song, they have such a way with words. I mean, not only are they musicians, but they are like poets.
Artists.
Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
like write these words that just goes so well together, but then also are so true and so impactful and so mind blowing. Sometimes, you hear Dave say something in a song and you're like, wow, where did that come from? And how did he come up with that? Right. Like I always think in particular, I don't know the backstory of Gray Street. I've never
Mm-hmm.
had to sit down. If there's an interview out there where Dave says this is what it's about, then I haven't seen it. So, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I always wonder, how did he write that song so well? And I don't know if this is true, but I almost think that Gray Street is from a woman's perspective. How did he write that so
Yeah.
perfectly? Ugh, it just I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. I know.
It's wild. But so what are some songs now? Like, do you have any favorites besides those two that you
Um,
have found, like new song? Because it seems like, there's so much music.
yeah.
Is there anything that
Yeah.
you just found recently?
I mean, honestly, to answer that, I would have to go in to look at his library because I can't think of one on the spot.
No, that's okay.
Uh,
I usually can't either. Like I
um,
always say, if someone asks me my
yeah,
favorite song, I'm going to be like, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, because that's why I always have Two Step as my favorite song, but.
I mean,
I
that's a great
mean,
one.
you know what though? I listen to a lot. Oh, um, in my favorite performance that they ever did, because
Uh-huh.
I don't believe actually it's their song. I think it was the cover. That they did, and they've done it occasionally because I know they've done it at a few different venues. But Time Bomb.
Oh
That's my
yeah.
absolute favorite, and I have it at the CD at Wrigley Field.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, like that's my absolute favorite song ever. Is Time Bomb.
It's good, and I'm glad you brought up Wrigley Field in general. That's my favorite recording.
Mine
It's just
too.
it's so good. It's so
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
good,
It
and I
is.
wish I would have been there.
I mean, as I said, I was at Fenway, and like I like that because I mean, I feel as though no matter where they're playing, like Central Park, like
Hmm.
every big performance, they pull it out, like they pull it
They
out, they
do.
make it, and they make it like every big venue, they make like a big performance, like
They
they
do.
match the venue.
They do.
I
I
mean,
feel
like
like
the
they.
Central Park album, that was my favorite album until I found Wrigley Field.
I mean, they're all
Obviously,
so
everyone
good.
loves Central Park.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. And it's just, it feels, I hate to say this, but it's so nostalgic though, just,
Mm-hmm.
and I think back when I think of that concert in particular, I've seen like the videos of this, like it looks like a sea of people that are in this space, this park to see this band. And I just it's massive. It's massive, and it has continued to stay one of the most popular recordings of them in general, which says a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It just says a
Mm-hmm.
lot for them. They're such amazing performers. So have you gotten back to where you're able and wanting to go to live shows again?
Oh no! Oh yeah, I've gone to live shows since I was discharged from the hospital. The
Awesome.
first year, my boyfriend took me to a live show while I was still in a wheelchair.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you probably felt amazing while you were there. Like
Yeah.
again, medicine, it filled you up, it filled your soul, it made
Mm-hmm.
you feel good and was it your
See, I
boyfriend that
didn't. Yeah, I actually didn't have to miss like a tour, a year of
Oh
touring
wow.
because my accident was September, and I was in the hospital from September till February.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I wasn't it wasn't tour season.
Wow, you went through all of that and you didn't miss a tour. You were right there.
No,
That's crazy. So you said that someone played Dave Matthews Band music for you when you were in a coma. Who
yeah.
was that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure who made that decision, but
Yeah.
it was my boyfriend, and my parents.
Yeah. So they're aware, of course, they're aware of your passion for the band. And what do they
Mm-hmm.
think about the band?
Mm-hmm.
Are they
They like
fans?
him. I
Yeah.
mean, yes. You see, I've um, I've 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 gone to a lot of shows I've gone to a bunch of shows in Mexico ever
Oh,
since
yeah.
2017.
Uh-huh.
But I've only actually brought my friend and a boyfriend to
Uh-huh.
two of the shows, and I've been to them all. So
Wow.
the other ones I had to bring my parents to, and
Hmm.
yeah, so they got to, so I mean, they like the music.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you have a lot of friends just in general? Because I don't. Like my local friends here in my city that I like work with and see, at home. I don't have a lot of Dave Matthews Band friends. Do you? Do you?
I mean, yeah. See, I only have I only have a couple. I only have a couple that I know of.
It's so
Well,
strange.
yeah. I honestly only have one.
And you live in like such a big fan hotspot, the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
especially the North. There are such massive amounts of fans just because, the band originated in Virginia and, toured a lot in those areas. And so, but it is
Good.
amazing. We know that there are so many fans, but yet not a lot of fans know local friends that are fans, right? And so you got to go to the shows to see your Dave friends, right? Tell
Mm-hmm.
me about the community. That's something that I like to talk about specifically, just because obviously the community is the fans of the Dave Matthews Band,
Mm-hmm.
and it is because of the music that we know each other and we get together and we do all these things. Have you had a positive experience within the community of other fans
Oh
for the Dave
yes,
Matthews Band?
and I mean, okay, you see, and I mean, and Okay, see, when I was healing from my
Mhm.
brain injury, um, I would need advice on different issues, and
Mhm.
um, like I didn't had nowhere to get it. But the DMB family group on Facebook, like they became my new my new go-to people. Like
Yeah.
if I had an issue or a question, I would just go ask them.
Wow.
I I don't know, but like they honestly helped me a lot
Yeah.
throughout
It's
my
amazing that
recovery.
these strangers will do for strangers, right?
And I mean, it's funny just because I'll like when I'm in Mexico, I'll just be walking down the beach and someone's like, "Hey, Lindsay," I'm like, "Oh, hey."
Oh, don't you
It's
love
like I
that
have no
though?
idea who that is,
But that's so much
but
fun. I mean, it is a big community of fans, and Facebook has made it seem smaller just because there are so many groups, and you get to seeing the
mhm,
people's names that participate a lot in people's faces, and maybe, they're sharing their life on your feed or whatever. So to get to
mhm,
see them in real life is really cool and remembering those names. But it is hard for me. I am not good with names. Like, I love name tags. I get my children's names wrong all of the time. I'm like, Christian Joshua, blah, 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 who are you? Whatever, come here. And so for me to remember names, I'm just not that girl. But some people are really good at names. Like, they'll see you, they will be
yeah,
like, we're friends on Facebook. You're so and so. I'm like, how do you do
yeah,
that?
I know. I'm not good with names
I am
either.
not. Yeah, I can't remember. I can remember faces, but names are very tough, especially when you get like John. Let's be like, well, I know about 35 Johns, so you're going to have to kind of tell me a little bit more. It's hard. It's hard. So, what is what is I'm trying to think of your dog's name, and I've missed it, but don't tell me because
Brady.
I was gonna
I'm
get it. I was like,
sorry.
it's a football player. He quit. Come on, Renae, let's get your life together. But okay, Brady. So,
Right there.
uh, have you seen? I have two dogs. I'm a dog lover, but of course, you see all of these things on Facebook because within the communities and the groups, you got people making homemade stuff, and I got my dogs a little bandana that has fire dancers all over it. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you know
Oh.
you've reached like some kind of crazy
No,
level. Because
no, nope.
do you have one?
That's what I'm gonna show. That's what I'm
Oh,
gonna.
we're on a field trip. Here we go.
Um,
we're, we're walking through her
but
house for those of you that are
yeah,
listening.
you see, um, mm, it's my
Oh, you have like a
it's
lead and it has fire
it's a
dancers all over it.
leash.
Oh, that's
But the
amazing.
thing is that I could have sworn that I ordered the matching collar when I got that leash,
Yeah.
that leash literally just came for me like within the past week,
Wow.
and and so I gotta I have to look into it because I could have sworn that I ordered with it the matching collar,
Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't have
but
just
it
bought one.
but
You need all of it.
yeah, but there's no collar in the box.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe you did and maybe you didn't, but I'm sure if you did, that you just reach out to that person. And there's so many good people that are, just I
Oh
love
yeah.
supporting people that like are talented with their art, whatever their art style is. And I have seen some impressive things that people do just with Dave Matthews Band centered into that, like the topic of whatever. I mean, anything from like dog leads to pillows to, of course, t-shirts and things like that. But I have bought several, like sometimes in the parking lots, people will be selling stuff and no, they don't have fire dancers on them because that's trademarked. But like other stuff that you can do, like oh, what's it called? A cutting board. And it would have like, you would cut up your fruit on it for like your liquor drinks. I don't know what, but like it'll say bartender, please, or whatever, just fun stuff that people have really just put their talents out there and given us everything we could ever want and so much more, and probably would have never thought that we needed it until we saw it. And then we were like, well, clearly I have to have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much good merch out there. I love looking through it, but it can get you in trouble, that's for sure. So, what does the fall look like for you? Are you headed out this fall to see the band?
No, I'm not, because unfortunately they're not doing any shows that were really close to me.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, like they're doing shows that I guess I could drive to, but you know what? I'm going to Mexico, so
Yes.
I
And
can wait.
yeah, that. I'm not going to any fall shows either because I'm going to Mexico. So I'm on the same page as you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll definitely have to be sure to meet. I'm
Yeah.
really excited. I mean, I
Yeah.
love fall. I love the whole band.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would love to see them if they were playing in
Yeah,
Boston. I would go see them,
for
but
sure.
I don't feel like driving to
No,
Connecticut
I
or
get
New
it.
York to
I
go.
get it. I get it. It's so funny. So many people will be like, "So, are you going to any of the fall tour?" And I'm like, I can't just hop on a plane and go to New York anytime. Like I would love to, but I can't. So, but Mexico is. I am very excited. If you're listening to this and you've never been to Mexico before, it is something that for the last, well, less than 10 years, Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds get together and do like a duo on the beach. It is on an all inclusive
Resort.
beautiful resort. You get spoiled, you get wined and dined, and everything is paid for. And you know what? It is just my type of vacation. I always say, if I'm going
Hmm.
to pay money and go somewhere, I want somebody bringing me a drink. And they will do that, even at the show, standing there
Hmm.
watching Dave and Tim with a bartender just coming right at you. I love
I
it.
know.
I
I
love
know.
it. It's so good. It's so good. So I'll have to meet up with you in Mexico for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Definitely going to happen. Well, I love your story so much because it's another example of like what music has done in people's life, and it has really gotten you through.
Some hard times.
I mean, that's not even harsh enough words. I mean, you've been through a lot, just an incredible amount of things, and you got through it. And it was a lot
Hmm.
because you had to put in the work and you did it. But also, music helped kind of get your heart right, your
Yeah,
mind right,
it
and ready
really
to push
did.
on. And so thank
It
you for
really
sharing
did.
that, because I really do just want to be a constant reminder, as as a nurse, you're a nurse, that music is really
Hmm.
a form of therapy for real, for real. There's a science behind it. And so thank you for helping me to once again expose
Prove
what
it.
what
Hmm.
music what music is doing for people.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I hope that you will come back. Maybe you'll come back after Mexico and we can talk some more. But for those of you that
Yeah.
are listening to the podcast, just know that you can watch this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, there's one thing that you can do that would really help me. You can rate, review, subscribe to this channel, however you're getting this podcast. And those reviews really do count as engagements. It helps my numbers so that we can get this podcast out to more people. Because again, we just want to teach people about the healing ways that music can help, but specifically the music of the Dave Matthews Band, because that's our favorite
Hmm.
music. So be sure to follow me. I'm on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you're interested in sharing your story, just reach out to me on one of those socials. But Lindsay, thank you again so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Guys, until the meantime, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.
Bye bye.
Space between the tears we